On this channel, I have talked about what the liver is all about, how bilirubin is being formed. So today let's look on the topic jaundice. So what is jaundice? Jaundice is the condition during which the person has a yellow coloration of the eyes and some parts of the skin. So this jaundice may be classified into three types, okay? We have the first one, prehepatic jaundice. So this prehepatic jaundice is due to excessive breakdown or too much destruction of red blood cells, okay? So the bilirubin load becomes too much for the liver to conjugate. So the bilirubin is therefore unconjugated or indirect bilirubin, which is the toxic type of bilirubin. So the second type of jaundice is hepatic jaundice. This one is as a result of reduced function of the liver cells, okay, due to damage as in infective hepatitis. I've also talked on this infective hepatitis, or you can also call it viral hepatitis. I've made a video on that where I talked on hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E. So if you have not watched that video, kindly do so to understand more on the viral hepatitis. So in this hepatic jaundice, both the conjugated and the unconjugated forms of bilirubin are present in the blood. So the third type of jaundice is post-hepatic jaundice. So when the bilirubin has been conjugated, okay, and it cannot be excreted from the kidney due to obstruction in the bile duct by either gallstone within the lumen or by a tumor exerting pressure from outside. So the bilirubin spills over into the blood. So this bilirubin is conjugated, okay? So these are the three types of jaundice: hepatic jaundice, prehepatic jaundice, and post-hepatic jaundice. So what are the causes of this high bilirubin? What really makes bilirubin to be high in the blood? So first of all, I would like to talk on what causes high unconjugated bilirubin. Remember that this unconjugated bilirubin is the most toxic type, okay? So one is overproduction of bilirubin. When this bilirubin is being overproduced in the blood, okay, it will lead to this unconjugated bilirubin. So what can cause this overproduction of bilirubin? We have congenital disorder, okay, such as in haemoglobinopathy. So example of this haemoglobinopathy is a medical term for a group of inherited blood disorders and disease that what primarily affects red blood cells. So typical example of this haemoglobinopathy is sickle cell anemia. So people with sickle cell anemia, their red blood cells are being destroyed. Like before that normal 120 days of red blood cell lifespan, the red blood cells will always be, undergoing phagocytosis. So people with this sickle cell anemia will always have overproduction of this unconjugated bilirubin. Then another thing that can lead to increased production of this unconjugated bilirubin is hemolytic anemia. Hemolytic anemia is the anemia that is caused as a result of destruction of red blood cells. Anything that will lead to excessive destruction of red blood cells will always lead to this form of bilirubin. Then another thing that can also cause unconjugated bilirubin to be high is liver diseases, okay, such as hepatitis, like I've talked on before, viral hepatitis. People with viral hepatitis will always have the unconjugated bilirubin being at the high side. Then another factor that can cause this unconjugated bilirubin to be high is decreased excretion. That is, these bilirubin, they have been formed, but they are not being removed by the kidney. And one of the things that can cause that decreased excretion is hereditary too. Is hereditary, like in Gilbert's syndrome. This Gilbert syndrome is a mild genetic disorder, okay, that affects the body's ability to process bilirubin, so it is harmless. So many people don't even have symptoms of this Gilbert syndrome. So it is one of the things that can make bilirubin not to be excreted from the body. Then another reason that can also cause this decreased excretion is in acquired situations such as post-viral hepatitis, okay? That is someone that has been exposed to either hepatitis B or hepatitis C. It will also affect the rate at which this bilirubin is being excreted. Then another factor is drugs. There are some drugs that also decreases the excretion of bilirubin. Then we also have Crigler Najjar syndrome. This one is a severe condition that is characterized by high level of bilirubin caused by what? Absence of a particular enzyme, uridine diphosphate glucuronosyl transferase. This enzyme is responsible for the conjugation of bilirubin, okay? So when this enzyme is lacking in someone, that person may not be able to conjugate bilirubin in his or her blood. That is for the unconjugated bilirubin. Then what also causes conjugated bilirubin, okay? The major thing that causes this form of bilirubin is when there is obstruction, okay, which may be due to occasional cirrhosis, okay, or often cases like hepatitis. This one can also lead to elevated unconjugated bilirubin. Then in alcoholic liver disease too, you will see people that are always consuming alcohol, okay, they will always have this elevated conjugated bilirubin. And also drugs, there are some certain drugs that can lead to elevation of this conjugated bilirubin. Also, extrahepatic obstruction too can also lead to this conjugated bilirubin being elevated. So what can cause extrahepatic obstruction is due to gallstones, okay, carcinoma of bile duct or pancreas, then bile duct stricture and biliary atresia. So these are the things that causes increased bilirubin, both the conjugated and the unconjugated. So that is the end of today's video. Thank you for always coming back. If you are new to my channel, you are welcome. Stay connected and always expect anything health videos from this channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.